Q4 is one of the best times to make money when it comes to selling on Walmart. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you some of the products that I've made over $1,000 selling during this Q4, and that just means during October, November, and December. And since the holiday times are some of the best times to sell products on Walmart, and all these products are selling upwards of 100, 200, 500 times plus a day, I'm going to show you how to identify these products for the future and that you're able to find them yourself. With Q4 and selling on Walmart, one of the best categories to sell during the holiday season is going to be toys. Toys sell incredibly well for the last 3 months of the year. Walmart has even said that 40% of all toy sales happen during the last 3 months. Within the toys, there are a ton of different products that you can sell. You can sell Legos, you can go ahead and sell any figurine. All of these different products will sell well. But some of the products that sell the absolute best are called advent calendars. What an advent calendar is it's essentially a countdown until Christmas. So there are a ton of them. You'll see there's a Mr. Beast one right here, there's a Lego one right here, and there's a Play-Doh, a Stitch, etc. And with this, you buy the advent calendar and then you open one each day up until the 25th of December. So 1 box per day for Christmas. So there's so many different ones going across so many different brands, and they sell absolutely crazy on Walmart. You'll see this one's a bestseller, this one's a bestseller. A lot of them are bestsellers. This one's in 200 plus people's carts. This one's a bestseller. Some of these products are selling upwards 500 times a day, 1,000 plus times per day, and they are absolutely huge money makers. Here's an example of one that I was selling upwards of 150 times per day. So you'll see this Squishmallow right here. It's in 100 plus people's carts. It's $42.99, and it was recently discounted at local Walmarts for $20. So if you open up our Walmart product research tool, Sellify, we can see that it says an estimated monthly sales of 31, but that's not true because you'll see it's in 100 plus people's carts and it's a bestseller. So I was buying it for $20, and if I was selling it for 43, I was actually selling it for closer to 50. You'll see that you'll make about $9 or $10 per item. And if you bought it for 20 and you sell it for 43, which is the current buy box price, you'd be making almost $10 per unit. So if you were able to sell 100 units, you'd be making almost $1,000 in profit. And you were able to do this with 100 units per day, netting almost $1,000 profit in a day. So that is how crazy Q4 is and how well these items do on Walmart during November and December. Now, the trick with these items, and with any item really when it comes to sourcing, is you want to be early to the trend so that this way you can get as many of them as you can from all of these different sources. A lot of these items were sold by Walmart themselves during October or September, and a lot of these smart sellers were able to go and buy these products, wait a month or two, and then start selling them. So you can't really do that for the past, but what you can do is you can take note of all of these products, as well as you can take note of who's selling them, and you can prepare for next year. So this way you are ready when it comes to Q4, you're ready, you're tracking which sellers are selling these products, you're tracking all these sellers who are doing well with product research, and you're going to be able to look at their storefronts, you're going to be able to take a look at advent calendars, and you're going to be able to buy them for next year so that you can make a lot of money. So let's take a look at my process. First, I take a look at what is doing well. So I typed in advent calendar, and I see right here, there's the Lego 2025. It's a bestseller. So I'm going to open that up right here. And we just want to go ahead, open it in a new tab. The Mr. Beast one is doing really well. We can see right here, this one is $20. It was $58.99. So let's open it up. It's a rollback, but it has a decent amount of reviews. There's a couple of Play-Doh ones. This one, the Nita one, is in 200 plus people's cart. It's doing really well. The Furby Minis is selling really well. And Walmart's actually low in stock, so this could be something else that we could sell. The Squishmallows one did well, and there's a bunch here again, so I just want to take note of all of these different listings. One thing that I can do to actually save a lot of time is I can import all of these listings in bulk into my list using PriceLink. So if you're not familiar, PriceLink is a software where I can create lists of all of these different products, and instead of saving these items one by one in a spreadsheet, I can just create a list which will allow me to easily see and track all of these different listings. So to add all of my items that I see in bulk to a list, I just click right here, import bulk. I just tell it which list I want to add it to. So maybe I create a different one titled advent calendars, and then I'll just press upload and it will add all of those products to a list so I can keep track of them, keep track of all of the different sellers on the listing so on and so forth. So after you've taken a look at the winning listings and the ones that are doing really well, the ones that third-party sellers are able to sell and where a lot of these different third-party sellers are making a ton of money. So we have this Lego one right here. We also had the Disney one. We had the Furby, the Squishmallow. We also have the Mr. Beast and the Red Bull. So we're going to go to the item page. Now that we're on the Lego advent calendar, we're going to scroll down on Sellify till we see the current sellers section. So all of these sellers source this product. You'll see this seller has 14 units, 27 units, etc. And we're just going to download this. And what that's going to do is it's going to create a file with all of these different sellers. And we know that all these sellers were able to get this hot item. They were able to stay on top of what was selling well during Q4 so that we can save that information so that this way, when it comes to September of next year, or even as early as August, we can take a look at their storefronts and we can use PriceLink, or we can just check their storefronts to track what other items they're starting to sell. So to do that, I'm just going to click download. Then it's going to create a CSV. So I'm just going to title it. So I can title it offers. I can title advent calendar Lego, and I could just put the date as well as the model number, and then I'll save it to a file. And then once I've collected that for all of these different items, so Lego, Disney, Squishmallow, etc., I can even add them to an Excel file and see, are there overlap between the sellers? So I can find which seller is consistently on all of these listings. So instead of having a massive list with 100+ sellers, maybe there's 5 sellers that are on all these listings together, and then I can go ahead and storefront stock those 5 sellers. Those are the 5 sellers that I potentially want to be looking at, that are going to be the ones that next year, or even again throughout the year, I can storefront stock and continuously find good leads, continuously find products to sell and make money with on Walmart. And that's how you go from being just a casual arbitrage seller or someone who's doing 5 to 10K per month in revenue, and how you can go and scale to someone doing 50, if not 100K plus in revenue, is by finding the heavy hitters, finding other people who are out there doing all the product research, and use them to expand your own product research, because you're not going to be able to look at every product all by yourself. So instead, you're still doing your product research, but you're also leveraging other sellers who are doing their own product research and finding their own winning products so that you can use their stores and their work to help you find other products. And this is how I found a ton of products and new brands to sell in my business, is by going back last year, taking a look at what products were selling, and then finding the sellers who were selling those products, looking at those sellers and preparing for the next year. So this doesn't only have to do with Q4. This can be, again, on any product. Just take a look at some sellers, learn what sellers are good to storefront stock, that are consistently going to be able to bring you to new brands, new products. But specifically for Q4, you can use now to gather that data, find the sellers, and then have it ready for next year, so that the product research phase is going to be ultimately just a lot easier and allow you to find a ton more items. So that's going to be it for this video. It was a short but quick one that's going to just show you one of the processes that I use in my business to continuously find profitable products for Q4 and just in general. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in joining my coaching program, the link for that is going to be down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.